In addition to the large pool of water, as well as the wall of skeletons on the opposite side of you, which again, as I mentioned last week, um, are not moving. They do not appear. It's not that they're not necessarily standing there like statues. Like you can see that they are animated skeletons. Um, I guess not technically alive, so they you would consider them as undead because they're standing up and kind of shuffling a little bit. They're not moving out of their current position, and you're pretty sure that they see you, so they are not threatening you at the moment. Um, in addition to those things, um, you see that on the walls, and these are stone walls, the ceiling is probably maybe 10, 15 feet high in here. Um, there are like handwritten notes just like plastered all over the walls. And you can also see um, a few, they're not in D&D terms an actual wisp, but wisp-like lights floating about very slowly around the ceiling. You can also see in a few places there are jars that seem to contain these floating balls of light. I guess we'll call them. But aside from that, the room itself, um, you do notice that there are some what appear to be blood stains on the floor, but beyond that, everything seems to be uh, somewhat orderly. So even the notes that are on the walls don't appear to be sort of like haphazardly placed there. It doesn't look like an insane person was just writing a bunch of nonsense and then slapping it all over the walls. Like it looks like these are notes that someone made and then they placed them in a specific order. Best you could tell. I mean, you don't know what the order may be, or if there is an order, but they're orderly in on the walls. I'll say.
Well, I'm guessing Bjorn can see the other side due to the torch.
I don't know if I can see the other side because of that, or just because of the vision I have from the other people. But I I can see it. I don't know if Bjorn can.
I believe you should the light in the room
Okay.
should probably eliminate.
All right. Then yeah.
If not, you. I don't know. I think I saw vision for.
Oh
Yeah, if you.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. Checking to see if
Oh, okay.
Utha had vision set for her. He does, so everybody see what she sees.
Bjorn is gonna kind of just look around at everyone and say, "Are we here to kill necromancy?"
Well, if you want to get rid of the undead, you either have to completely destroy them or you kill the person controlling them.
Well, my worry is if we go to kill person, these all come from behind.
True. Um, we could.
So we just start smashing?
No. Let's let's not just enter a large open room where we can be swarmed, Bjorn. Um, we could take one or two steps in to get a better see at these possible corridors. But apart from that, we should stay as far away as possible from that wall of bone.
I agree with that.
I step in, I look around and tell you what I see, yes?
Can you see in the dark, Bjorn?
He'll point over to the torch and say, there is torch in there.
Can you see down the hallways where there might not be torchlight?
No way to know aside from look.
Well, I'll enter with you. We can both look, but only small steps.
Yes. And he'll just take one step forward. And as you like start walking on the side of him, he puts a hand out on your chest and pushes you back and says, "Perhaps one step behind for you."
Don't worry, I can move fast myself.
If something grab it makes it more difficult, so please, just one step. And I'll try to take a step in front of him. I don't know if he'll let me.
If you want to get closer to them, be my guest. I'm just going to keep moving forward one step at a time.
All right. So as I get here and I look over, are these just closed doors?
Yes.
Okay. And do I notice anything over here? Does it look like there's a hole in the wall or anything?
The wall itself is destroyed, but it's not like there's a. It's not. It's not a passageway, so
Okay.
you can in that spot there that's sort of like hollowed out is you can just basically see the bare rock.
Okay.
It looks like something smashed into that wall quite hard.
All right. Uh, I'll nod towards the boxes over in the corner and tell someone, "Would you like to have a look over there?"
Yes, we can also try the door over there to try and circumvent our current situation.
Yes. Can you see behind undead? I do not have. I cannot see far.
I believe there's a door behind them.
So they are guard.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll just like kind of stand with my back to him so I could keep mainly on like this door and the skeletons as he like looks around.
Yes, could I investigate the boxes, please?
You can do so. So the only thing that you really find is a scroll case inside one of the boxes.
I will definitely not open that right now.
That's all you find.
There doesn't seem to be anything of real value here, Bjorn. I'm just going to head over to this door. If you stay where you are as a bridge between us and the party, we can decide if it's safe to go or not.
Which one were you pointing at? The one closest to us?
Yes, if you stay where you are, I can just see if it can open. Then we have like a chain of which direction we can go back to the group, or the group can come this way.
He's gonna hold you up for 1 second and say, "One moment. This water is something not right." And he's gonna look at you and reach down and pick up a little and look and say, "Should I see if perhaps there is something inside it?"
Inside the water?
Yes.
I would say we should leave that option for a moment. The less we disturb, or the less things we do to disturb our guests to the north, the better. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Just something seems not right. But yes, I agree. I just stay between you and water, and I would just move over here so he could like pass me and go up to the door.
Okay.
Is it locked?
It is not.
Do you want me to roll something to see if it's trapped?
I'll keep you 18 investigation. doesn't.
If that's the case, I will. Let's open the door.
Mostly it's not trapped because traps in 5e are lame.
Seems like there's some sort of corridor running perpendicular beyond. If you wish, you can signal the others to carefully make their way across.
He'll look back and wave everyone to come forward, and they will follow.
Once we enter, we should probably close the door behind us just to make certain.
I just want to go on record. Not a fan of leaving skeleton behind.
No, but if we're in a tighter space, they cannot swarm us.
Yes, just putting out there for future.
I'm sure we'll be back this way anyway.
It's highly likely considering they seem to be guarding a set of doors. Shall we continue?
Do you want me go first?
Oh, if you wish, or maybe Ayla could?
Yes, she can see. Actually, hold on. Are you do you still want to take that one, and I'll take the other guy? Rob?
Sure, yeah. So which one are you taking?
I'm taking Sten.
Yeah, and I'll take Uther.
Okay.
Sure, I suppose I'll go take a look.
None of you can actually talk to Utha, but you can tell Sten what to tell Utha. Utha kind of understands Common, but she has a hard time speaking it.
Okay.
But she can sing in the dark, and she is, in fact, as far as I know, the tallest person in the group anyway.
Yeah, she's taller than me.
Well, this seems to be a dead end of some kind, although there's a door over there.
Well, we would have closed that one behind us just as a piece of mind.
Here, I'll delete it when we walk back out.
I mean, an unlocked wooden door probably stops skeletons, right?
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
no, but at least we can hear when they
They're
have
like,
to charge through the door.
Well, I was thinking if there's a vampire, he wasn't invited in here, so he can't come in.
Good point.
Yeah, I wait for them to do all their looking, like as they do any looking around in the room. I'll look at this door, test to see if it's locked and all that stuff.
Yeah, Isla will look around.
I'll give you a hand. Just take it as an advantage. Yeah, the 18 should do.
Yeah. This general area seems to be a natural sort of curvature. You can see that the walls are not man-made. So this just appears to be something that as they were building this structure, they were just like, oh well, here's a dead end that's natural, but we don't have any need for it, so just there.
Well, that was a waste of time. Nothing over there at the dead end. Let's go through
The
the
door
door.
is not locked.
All right. I will try to open it quietly. And as soon as nothing comes screaming out at us, I will move aside for Isla to go through.
Is there nothing to the south?
Or is it another door?
Sorry, I think my Discord cut out there. No, there's nothing to the south. It's not a door.
Okay. And is that like the only door that she sees?
Yes.
If that's a door. Okay. There's another door.
I will stay right behind you if you want to open. It is quite cramped in this hall.
And she'll listen to see if she hears anything on the other side.
Nope.
And she will open the door.
It is locked.
Nope, this one is locked. Can I squeeze by and let the one with the tools go through, if you still have those tools?
Yeah, I'll back up and kind of push my back to the side and let Soren go up.
Yay! I get to fail at thieves' tools again. Fingers crossed. Why do I have disadvantage?
Because you weren't using real lockpicks.
Oh, plus I've got one hand.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't help either.
Does an 11 open it?
It does not open it.
I'm not terribly glued at that at you.
Unfortunately, it generally requires 2 hands. I seem to be lacking half of my tools.
Bjorn kind of just looks at him and just, is it Bjorn's turn to try?
Yes, it is your turn.
All right. And I will go up and try to put my foot right to where I think like the hinge is and try to kick it open. Would it be strength or athletics?
Just strength.
Great.
Uh, 11 strength. Not bust the door down.
Would you like to try it? She
Yeah.
looks at Stan and then looks at what her
Utha.
Utha. Yes,
Well, she's very excited about these skeletons, by the way, given that her surname is Bone Snapper.
Well, if all
but
else
I don't
fails...
believe. I don't believe Sten is particularly strong.
She was looking at Stan to tell Utha
Oh, I
to
got you.
do it.
Yeah, I think Ufa could definitely go up to a door and give it a good kicking.
I mean, Bjorn is technically stronger than her, but yeah.
But I suck.
She'll tap Utha and cast guidance. Hopefully this will help.
She just kind of looks at you and kind of like brushes her shoulder away, like, "Why are you touching me?"
So, just strength. Is it strength or athletics?
Strength. That's amazing.
plus a d4. 13.
You guys have rolled 3 11s in a row. A 13 still doesn't. So let's have because the way that this hallway is set up, you can see that you're in the middle of it, which is about 5 feet across, and then there on the sides of you there are essentially like half squares. So you almost have 10 feet. Because of the snap to grid, it won't let you guys stand next to each other. But if Utha and Bjorn kind of work together, you can either do one more roll with Bjorn with advantage, or you can have them both roll separately if you want.
Yeah, I'll take advantage.
Yeah, take the advantage, please.
All right, there we go.
Yeah. Sort of put your shoulders in, smash the door. Let me select this.
Oh no, bookcases.
Yeah. So Bjorn like kind of looks around, sees nothing interesting, and once they all get inside, he just goes and stands like guard.
clearly I noticed the books. I probably need to have a look around the room to see if there's anything interesting.
Yeah, do an investigation check with advantage. I assume everybody else, because Stan would be interested in this stuff too. So. Utha and Bjorn will go play rock paper scissors or whatever.
Don't know if we have the smarts for that.
Rock and rock?
Just punch each other for
Mhm.
a while. So there's a lot of books in here, and more notes that appear to be research notes from the necromancer. You see that in the descriptions, first and foremost, you discover, because you find a diary of sorts, for one thing, but you discover that the necromancer in question is a man named Zethlandir, and with that name, you can rightly guess that he is an elf. And there's a lot of notes in the diary that you find. He keeps speaking of an entity that he calls the Mother. And this creature, this entity that he calls the Mother, is forming a bond with him, and one that he did not originally intend to form. And he's discovered that this bond has given him the ability to basically strip the souls of the dead, or from those that he kills, and use those souls to conjure storms that can kill and trap other souls. And he makes notes about these things. And I mean, how much time do you guys want to spend looking at this stuff? Because there's a lot here.
I mean, I'd let them know that I found notes on the necromancer and what he's doing. Would you all be willing to spend a bit of time in this room?
Bjorn would give you a hell no. Bjorn, we take books and paper, and you can look later when we are somewhere safe.
If we know what the Zeflander has been doing, or how he has been doing it, it may make it easier for us to stop him.
Bjorn just looks at you and kind of doesn't say anything, but looks noticeably uncomfortable, like just standing here.
Because I mean, I'll say it would probably take you a good 30-45 minutes to go to really get even the gist of this stuff. Because I mean, it's pretty dense, and it's you can tell that this is something that he's been working on for quite some time.
I just look over to Ayla.
I mean, between you and Stan and Ayla, if you're all sort of reading through this stuff, you might be able to get a decent amount of stuff in that amount of time.
It's. I would rather learn as much as possible, spending a little bit of time researching this person, than heading to it completely blind.
If we did not find a room, it would have been completely blind anyways. This is just a bonus information. But you are able to do what you wish. I am going to stay here, and let me know when you are ready. And he'll just kind of stand there and go back on guard.
And Stan is reading it, and he even alludes to the fact that like a lot of this stuff is over his head. I mean, he's smarter than Bjorn, but he's not wizard smart. his as a shaman, I believe his spellcasting ability is wisdom, not intelligence. He's not particularly.
Yep.
And Isla will be like looking through the notes and pretending like she understands, but really, it's also going over her head.
I mean, you guys get what he's talking about, but like when he starts getting into like the details of how he does this stuff, it's all kind of like just reading Greek. Storm would understand it because he's basically just talking about like arcane magic, which I understand neither of you actually use arcane magic. I mean, I guess you kind of probably have the ability to, but it's druidic magic, which I consider a shaman and a druid aren't going to understand it the same way that a wizard would, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more nature.
Yeah. So, in addition, in his diary, Zethandir talks about how he is growing increasingly more proficient at being able to capture and use these souls that he takes. And you can see that, like, at the beginning of the diary, he's talking about attempting to keep this bond away. He doesn't trust this creature, this entity, this thing that he's calling the mother. But eventually, you can see as the diary goes on and the days wear on, as he just starts to accept this thing, and you see that he's starting to talk about with these abilities that he could actually make an army of undead, and you learn that he's using this cavern, this cave system, for that very purpose. And he's trying to create a vessel so that he could amplify his powers. And he also makes mention that this storm that he is able to create, he believes it's the same type of storm that is over the dead field to the south, over the Sun Elves' former homeland. But the last thing that you see, or the last thing that catches your eye in his diary, is a note from him that it's humorous, isn't it? Humorous that I would spend so much time trying to dispel the notion that necromancy is simply evil, when in fact it is just as moral as its wielder. And now I feel this creature, the mother, trying to take over my mind. In the past, I've only sought to raise vile creatures from the dead to fight other vile creatures. Was I wrong? Have I been deceived in my own hubris? And at that point, he stops writing in a way that almost would appear to be any sort of like self-awareness. After that, it's just strange sort of ramblings about things, and you all kind of start losing the plot as to what he's talking about.
So, when he in the notes where he's talking about making a vessel for himself, is he basically trying to say, I'm trying to become a lich?
From what you gather, he's actually trying to create like something outside of himself. So he's not trying to create a phylactery, which would be what you would need to make yourself a lich. So, from your understanding of lichdom, that doesn't appear to be what he's talking about. What he appears to be talking about is, I guess, like to kind of build on his assumption that the storm over the dead fields is connected to this power that he has. I guess the in modern terms, the best way to describe what he's trying to do is, like you can buy those Wi-Fi boosters that you plug in and it just makes the signal travel further.
Yeah.
Essentially, what he's trying to do is create a magical
Like an amplifier
to like essentially draw some of the power and make the power of the storm over the dead fields go further out. And you also are all given his descriptions, you're starting to get that the storm that you were caught in is also related to this. So
So it would seem if we can stop this Zephlander, we can stop the storms north of the dead fields at the very least.
That sounds exciting.
And it definitely sounds
which
like
is a relatively new occurrence as well. Like generally speaking, there has been a pretty clear divide to the storm reaches, and doesn't usually go any further. So this is a little out of the order. And you're also starting to put the pieces together where you had heard the rumors that there were undead seen coming out of the dead fields, which is generally not a thing that happens either. So all the pieces are starting to make a little bit more sense now.
yes, it seems he's trying to make an undead army due to the influence of this mother. That's helpful information. If we can meet with him, we may be able to distract him long enough to gain an advantage.
And you get that in his early writings that, like, at least by what he said, and Soren, you would know. I mean, what he made mention of that he was always trying to convince people that necromancy in and of itself wasn't evil, and that it's no more evil than the intentions of its user, just like anything else. So you get the idea, at least in his own personal description of himself, that he was trying to help. So it wasn't like this is you, as the diary progresses. It seems like the man has lost his mind, but he wasn't originally necessarily a evil necromancer set out to rule the world with an undead army.
Well, it's definitely something we can use against him to hopefully make him stand down.
And Bjorn has been like pacing back and forth and back and forth. When he hears you say that, he goes, "You found weakness?"
Possibly. That's one of the reasons why we stopped to read.
What is it? What is weakness?
Well, we know his name. We know he's under the influence of something called the Mother. And he's the one causing the storms outside.
Bjorn kind of looks. He goes, that is good, but that is not weakness."
If used correctly, then yes, it is a weakness.
Okay. Yeah. And he just kind of goes back to pacing.
One other thing that Ayla, you see, as someone is reading the diary, similarly, like the cavern outside, that first room that you were in, there are notes and stuff all on the walls in here as well. But one of the things catches your eye because it looks like an incantation. And even though you're not necessarily an arcane user, you recognize that there appears to be, I mean, it looks like a spell.
Yeah, she'll go closer to investigate. Can she like figure out what the spell does?
I guess just do an Arcana check.
Nope.
Hey, Soren, I found a thing that looks like a spell.
Yeah, after staring at it, she'll finally look at Soren and be like, Well, I can't decipher this, and she'll just point up to it.
Oh, same as the writing in the other room. Let's see what it says.
Nice.
How the pendulum swings.
Obviously, I'm not going to chant whatever it is.
No, but it is a spell, and I will show it to all of you, because I can't load it onto your character sheets. Really, I mean, I could, but it's obviously not a spell that's in Roll20. So
That could
Well,
be.
I mean, yeah, that would definitely be helpful walking through a cluster of minions.
A little bit too useful, but well, I won't be the one in doing the spell. So, and she looks at Soren.
actually, the way this is, it's a fairly. It's not. It's an incantation more so than an actual magic. So you don't actually have to be able to use magic. All you have to be able to do is read, essentially. So Soren probably or Bjorn probably can't do this,
Nope.
but and Uther can't either. But the rest of you, essentially, all you have to do is read something over and over and over again. You're not actually casting any magic, so it's the words themselves that hold the power that can repel Zethandir's minions. And you kind of get the feeling that this may be something that, he uses himself.
So we could possibly get Sten to continually recite this, while the rest
Yes.
of us walk through and possibly even dismantle his minions.
Sounds fine to me, as long as I don't have to read it.
Sten, do you believe you could continuously recite this passage?
He kind of looks at you like, "What, do you think I'm stupid? I can read."
No, I'm just asking due to the case of if you can, then those 12 or possibly more zombies that we saw wouldn't be able to get close to us.
He sort of just walks over and grabs it and looks at it. It does appear to be written in there appear to be different languages written on there. One of them though is in common, so there is also a version in Elvish as well. Stan doesn't speak Elvish, so
Well, luckily he speaks common. So yes, at least we have a way to get past the minions if we decide to go straight there.
Bjorn's head kind of just pokes back in, looks around, sees you all still talking, and just keeps walking.
So the question is, do we attempt to check the other door, or do we attempt to go through what seems like the more likely path?
I don't believe we'll get much further interesting facts about this man unless there's something about the mother in that room.
Well, that's the issue. We're lucky we found this. So we could just head past the horde and try and bring this to a conclusion.
I'm fine with that. There's nothing of interest to me here.
Very well. Bjorn,
His head pokes back in. Yeah.
come here for a minute. We're going to explain what we're going to be doing.
He walks in and just looks at everyone. Yes, I'm listening.
So, we've just found a chant which Sten will be continuously chanting, and that will keep the minions away from us.
He honestly looks like he's trying to comprehend what you're saying very, very hard, and he's doing a decent job.
Well, if Sten keeps saying these words over and over again, then the monsters, due to the magic, will not be able to come close to us. This will let us get through past them to the final doors.
What if he stops saying, if he is hurt and knocked down?
Then either myself or Ayla can continue chanting it.
Most likely Sorn.
Okay, as long as someone always can be saying. Otherwise, I still am big fan of killing skeletons before we go.
Well, it also grants us the opportunity, as we can use the chant and possibly attack the skeletons at the same time.
This is good.
You have to throw things at them because they'll be 15 feet away from you at all times.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess we continue. Are we going to other room across to make sure nothing else sneak on behind?
I do not believe so. I think it's probably best if we deal with the larger problem at hand.
Well, you point way and Bjorn go.
Well, let's head back to the main room.
And Bjorn tries. I mean, I don't know if Ayla's just going, but he tries to get out in front and stay in between. He is really freaked out by the water, so he's trying to make sure no one goes near it.
Yeah, should just let them go.
So, Sane want to try walking up to skeletons with talking.
Yes, to make sure he's talking before he walks up to the skeletons.
I guess then he'll start chanting it and do.
You can see that they all kind of start shifting.
And I guess he'll start moving up.
Dyla will stay like right beside him.
Yeah, I think it's a 15-foot cone. A cone, dome.
So yeah, he's just on the outskirts of it.
And there's not really a good way to things out of the way, like and to position them where they'd be 15 feet away, but they're essentially like filing out of the way.
Okay.
I'll move them all. And as they're moving, they don't appear to, as you're all staying close to Stan, they don't appear to like even be attempting to attack you.
Okay.
They don't. It's they're all carrying weapons, but it's almost, you kind of get the feeling that they're there to to be guards, and then with this spell, it's. I mean,
This is
it's
kind of like the key for an easy way in.
Basically.
All right. Just out of his own pure curiosity and how scared he is, can he look into the water and see if he sees anything?
Yep.
Yeah, he just as he's walking by, he's just gonna like crane his neck and stuff over and just look down.
Kraken.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I mean, you can see that it's a big pool of water, but it's not particularly deep. In some places, you can see that it's not super clean, but it's not like muddy throughout. So as you're walking by, just at a glance, I mean, it looks like in at least some spots you can almost see like the bottom. Just really kind of looks like dirty water.
Okay. All right. All right. Then I will stay out here, or I'll stay on this side of him, and I'll look to Soren and say, perhaps you are best at checking door.
Very well.
In this case, it is 2 massive doors.
Are they locked?
They don't appear to be locked, but they are quite heavy.
Yeah, I don't think the guy with an 8 in strength is going to be opening a set of massive double doors.
Bjorn will move up and look to it's so hard. All right, Utha. And look at her and not even say anything. Just point to her and point to the door on the left, and then point to himself and point to the one on the right.
And Isla taps Bjorn.
All right.
A little bit of luck.
I appreciate.
What advantage or both roll?
Well, I just rolled, so whatever you want. I'll add the D4 just in case. I got a 10 and a 17.
All right. So, the doors do open inward. So as you're opening it up, you can't quite see to the left and the right because the doors are wide enough so that you can kind of only see in front of you. But as the doors sort of like slowly, you have to kind of like, Utha's on one side and Bjorn on the other. You're like pushing each door open, and it's not super loud necessarily, but you can hear the stone doors are dragging on the stone floor and making enough a noise that you hear sort of a combination of like sort of a low guttural sort of yell and then more of a high pitched sort of screech. And then as the doors open, go ahead and everybody roll initiative.
Just out of curiosity, am I gonna Sten even though he's just repeating stuff?
If he stops,
yeah. So that's what I mean. Should I even bother rolling with?
It's up to you guys, like how you want to do it. Like if he stops, then the skeletons will be able to.
I think we'll keep him.
I vote he does nothing but talk. Yeah.
And I'm 20 is so dumb. It still won't let me remove the.
Is it because we're like maybe once we get inside here and are able to close the door, maybe then he can stop. But until then, I think we'll leave him right where he is so they can't get in.
And even though technically you can see what you wouldn't really be able to see what you can see, but
yeah.
We'll say that the door swung all the way up against the wall. You got enough of that. As you heard the sounds, you both sort of picked up your pace as far as like pushing the door, so you were able to go all the way in.
Yay, looks like zombies and Frankenstein's monster.
I don't know why. Anything that has even a little bit longer hair like this, I just think it's gonna cast spells and kill me.
You're probably right.
Well, the good news for you guys is that most undead, at least 2 of these creatures, had a -2 to their initiative rolls. So Soren, you are up, and you can see, based on what you're looking at, you get a pretty good idea about what was making the high pitched squeal and what was making the low guttural noise as well.
Which one's making the high pitch? Was that the hair?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move up and I will bonus action cast Magic Stone and throw one of them at Screecher. That's a pretty solid hit.
That's a pretty solid hit. As it was screeching, and then all of a sudden it just gets knocked in the forehead with a rock. It kind of stops for a second and continues looking angry afterwards.
Shit, that's the end of my turn.
And it is that creature's turn. And it can't reach you, but it does have a longbow. And in quick succession, it fires 2 arrows at you. One,
Yay!
21. First one. 21 to hit.
Yeah, that would hit even if I cast shield.
And the second one is that. So the does 6 points of piercing damage. And you were able to see the second one time as he reared back to fire. Deflect. And Ayla, it is your turn.
Okay. She will walk into the room and then cast Ray of Frost at Longhaired guy. Probably not do much at all.
11 does not do anything.
And yep, that is all she does.
And I'll cheat a little bit and do the Matt Mercer thing. That Soren, when you hit it with your rock, his clever way of describing this is, it didn't do as much damage as you thought it would, or didn't look like it hurted as much as you thought it would. Basically, the cheating way to say that he's resistant to bludgeoning damage.
He's resistant to magic bludgeoning damage. Awesome!
That creature's actually resistant to a lot of things. Bjorn, you're up.
All right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 right there. And I will bonus action go into a rage and pull out my silver maul.
Okay.
Can I take the dodge action since I only use my bonus?
Sure.
All right, and I will go defensive and take the dodge action, and that will be the end of his turn.
All right. So it is this creature down here, and it is going to slowly shamble its way over to you and try to.
Oh God, please with disadvantage, don't kill me.
So 21 to hit.
With disadvantage? Holy shit.
Yeah, but it only does 6 points of damage.
So 3?
Yep.
All right. Shit.
It is Utha Bonesnapper's turn.
And I know you were having trouble doing her sheet last week, so just my halberd on her, I think, because she left all her weapons.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got it here.
So she has like the 10-foot
Well,
range.
I think she has. If she had her hand axes, because those would have been
Okay.
like, on her belt.
Okay.
So she's going to move 35.
Mm-hmm.
So I can rage and still attack, or is it rage
Actually,
and action?
she should be able to do 40.
Yeah, she can.
think.
I was just moving 35 to get
Oh,
flanking.
okay.
Yeah, you could rage. Raging is a bonus action, and she should actually have 3 rages. I think it said 2 last time. She only used 1 so far.
Okay. Then, yeah, she will rage and attempt to hit the Shambler.
Ah, it's just like playing Lilith again.
Hey,
No-
there's nothing
no,
wrong with Lalith.
No
No,
actual
just a-
surges, though.
Just a standard barbarian.
She gets to attack twice, too, because she's level 5.
Fucking you two and that barbarian shit.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Ah, look at that. Beautiful. Yeah, both of those hit, obviously.
Oh, and it's extra rage damage, so that would be an extra 2?
3?
3 at her level.
Because I think proficiency is 3, I think.
Okay, so that'll be an extra 6 damage then.
Ooh. It's looking really, really rough. Like, she cleaved in quite a few times. I'll even say that she hacked off one of the. It was shambling before. It's really shambling now.
No, and just as a heads up, rage is still only +2 until level 9.
Oh, okay. So an extra
2 hit points.
back.
Yeah.
Okay. It still looks really hurt. All right. So it is the big boy's turn.
Oh, bring it!
That was not a confident bring it.
I'm as confident as I can be with like dodge and stuff. So why not?
So this creature pulls out a massive morning star and tries to bring it down on your head. What is your AC?
18.
With disadvantage, it's a 19.
Okay.
Which is funny because I crit on one of the damage rolls and it's still less than it would have been had I gotten to hit the other. I rolled a 22 and a 19 to hit, but he does 15 points of bludgeoning damage, so you take 7.
All right. Not too bad. Not too bad. It could have been much worse, I guess.
And Soren, it is your turn.
Oh god, I was waiting for you to say, and he takes a second swing.
Well, I will take a bead of sweat I currently have, and I will attempt to cast Ice Knife at the long-haired friend. At level 2. Oh no! Shit.
That does not hit.
Well, technically, you still need to make a dex save to avoid the ice damage.
You mean the damage that you rolled a 1 on?
Shut up.
Dex save. What's your
14.
He actually does. He actually fails. You roll a 13.
Yeah, he takes 5 ice damage, does he?
He does. That's not ice. Is not one of the things he's immune to, or resistant to, rather.
That's the thing with wizards, man. You gotta hit, otherwise you feel so bad.
Yeah, because that was a lot of damage.
Yep.
But yeah, that's me.
All right. It is that creature's turn, and he's gonna run up here and attack.
I guess it would be with advantage because I am no longer defensive. Oh wait, I am still defensive, so just straight roll then. Right?
I believe so. Yeah. And he attacks twice with his longsword.
Okay.
He misses on the first swing, quite badly, in fact. However, on the second one, He does hit, and you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution. 25.
That definitely
Nice.
saves. But,
Thank God.
You do take 3 points, and this is reducing. You take 3 points of slashing damage.
All right. All right.
So, Ayla, it is your turn.
Okay. She will.
Cast some AoE. The barbarians will be fine, right?
Just do it.
She will just do her usual ray of frost out of the sky. And then, yeah, she'll do a level 1 hearing word on Bjorn.
So that's full damage.
And I get 7 points back.
7 damage. And Bjorn, it is your turn. You have your
Alright.
pick of the litter here.
I'm assuming, looking around just from your descriptions, the one below me is the most damaged.
Oh yeah, he's barely hanging on. You can see
Alright.
he's in pieces at this point after.
All right. Well, since the one up above me is the one who just stabbed me, I'm gonna just like push away from that one and try to like baseball swing this other guy's head off below me.
Okay.
I'll have advantage, right, since we're flanking.
Yep.
All right, so I don't have to go reckless. So raging silver maul. 17 to hit.
Oh yeah, it's gone.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
So you can see that this like sort of nasty necrotic blood splatters Utha, and you can see that she just sort of smiles at you and screams this primal yell, all excited that you just covered her in blood.
Bjorn kind of lets out a little giggle and just turns back to face this big bad motherfucker that's on top of me too. And yeah, that's it.
All right, it is the dead creature's turn, so it is now Utha's turn.
I think Uther will hook around to above our haired friend and attempt to stick it with the pointy end twice. So 21 and an 18.
They both hit 18 just.
And you add another 2 damage
Yes,
to each of them.
That's a lot of damage.
It's a lot of damage.
That's why I want level 5. I want to be able to swing twice. So bad.
I feel like she should have inspiration for being covered in blood too, right?
Mhm.
All right, so this creature is not looking too great. Still much better than the other creature was, but everybody, you don't have to worry about Stan and Utha, but everybody do a nature or intelligence check, whichever one of those you'd be better at.
I'm just as dumb in both. 0.
I think I'm going to take the intelligence check.
All right, so Bjorn, you're caught up in the moment. You don't really care.
I rolled a 0.
Ayla, you're probably also maybe just a little bit distracted as well. But Soren, you recognize what all these things are. So hair that everybody's calling it, that's a white. And you would be somewhat, I'm sure that those would be creatures that you would have at least possibly seen, but at the very least known about in the Underdark. The other one appeared zombie, and this big boy appears to be a zombie, but it appears to be an ogre that is turned into a zombie.
Oh, fucking fantastic.
I'm probably happy I don't know that.
So would I know it would require a certain damage type?
I mean, no, you wouldn't know that much, but you would know. I'll say that with a 23, you would know that basically all of these creatures would be immune to poisons, And that generally, for creatures like a white, um, in this case, for our world, silvered weapons would tend to be more effective at the very least.
Would that be something I could just blurt out quickly?
On your turn, maybe.
Fair enough.
But it's the ogre zombie's turn. And seeing all the damage that that she's doing, he's actually going to move up a little bit here. Still not really out of your range there, Bjorn. So he's going to attack Utha instead. 25 to hit. So I believe that hits her.
Yeah.
And she's raging, right? Yeah, so she takes 8 points of damage.
Done.
And Soren, it is your. I mean, you would know the things that I just told you, but as you're thinking about it, it's not really gonna help telling anybody. Like,
Yeah.
them
Not at
being
this
immune to
stage.
poison, nobody uses poison, and I mean Bjorn's already using a silvered hammer right now, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if that's the case, Sorn's just going to move up, recast Magic Stone, and attempt to hit the white.
Yep. So as you're hitting this, and as Utha was hitting it as well, you can see that it's continuing to yell and shriek and make a lot of noise, and it keeps getting louder and louder and more ear piercing and obnoxious as it takes more damage.
Then, just before I finish off, I will yell out, "The one with hair, hit it with silver."
It is the white's turn. And it will attack Utha as well, since he saw the zombie hit it. Her. What is her AC?
18, I believe. Yes.
Okay, so do no point in doing two swings when he never hits both, but Constitution saving throw for her.
25.
Shouldn't be doing con saves against these barbarians.
Mm-hmm.
So she takes 3 points of damage, and that is it. And it is Ayla's turn.
Okay. She will stay where she is and fire another ray of frost at white guy. And that's all she's gonna do.
All right. Are you sure not a warlock? They just stand there going, Eldritch Blast, Eldritch Blast.
I wish it was all just blast. It would do much more damage than the ray of frost.
All right, Bjorn, it is your turn.
What is it? Next level, you make it a 2d8 at least.
Yeah.
All right. Does the white look hurt?
I mean, it looks hurt, yeah.
All right. Bjorn is going to try to go for head number 2, and this time try to bring his hammer down on top of the white's head. And I don't have to do reckless, so I will just hit it with advantage. 16?
Does not hit.
Shit. And yeah, that is my turn. Probably was trying to swing so hard he just missed and hit the floor.
It is the Bone Snapper.
Yeah, I think we'll have Utha show Bjorn how it's done. Let's go. 1, 2. So, yeah, I assume those both
26
hit
and a 24, yeah. They,
with an
there we
extra
go.
4 damage total.
yeah, so she takes out the white. I killed her instead.
No! I think I'll have her just reposition up 1.
And now that it's dead and serves, it doesn't help at all. Another thing you would have known, because from the Underdark, you would have known that the white is sensitive to sunlight. like most things in the Underdark.
Well,
I mean,
we
it
didn't
doesn't matter.
have any sunlight.
It is the ogre's turn. Let's see. He's going to come down around and then attack you, Bjorn.
All right.
So is he
25 to hit.
still in range of Uther?
No, she would have an attack opportunity on him.
I mean, he technically didn't leave a range because it's 10 feet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how it works with reach weapons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's within the reach.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, 25 hits me.
Yep. So it would be 17 points of bludgeoning damage. So have that to 8, I guess.
Okay. All right. Finally under 30 HP.
And Sonya, it's your turn.
Considering he's now finally fucking up the barbarian, I will drop into my second blade song of the day. Run up behind and cast Primal Savagery.
Show the druid how it's done.
Yeah, with my one hand. Yeah, I think I
And
hit it.
teeth. And you would hit it without advantage.
Although the advantage is pretty nice in this case.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely going to turn down 20 points of acid damage.
So as you attack, you get like the rotten blood and bile and stuff. And I mean, as you got close, this thing just smells so bad. Just this giant rotting ogre. But you do lots of damage.
Lovely. He smells as nice as Beyond.
Yeah, the barbarians didn't notice it quite as much as you, but
It's like average Tuesday.
it would be the white's turn, but it's dead, so Ayla, it is your turn.
Yep, she will do her usual ray of frost at the big guy, and then also level 1. Yeah, level 1 healing word on Bjorn.
And as is the case with very large creatures, a 10 hits.
Oh wow!
So you do 8 points of damage.
Yeah.
You always got to believe in yourself.
It's still small dexterous ones you have to worry about.
Yep. Big boys are pretty easy to hit. Bjorn, it is your
All
turn.
right. I am going to do my best to aim for his jaw and try to swing and hit it. Don't need to reckless because I'm flanking, right?
Correct.
All right, so yeah. 26 to hit.
Yeah.
I was one away from a crit, damn it. 14 points of damage.
All right.
And he will just stay facing it and still like just letting out like a little laugh every now and then, like just giggles.
And I mean, you can see too, like as you're hitting him, it feels kind of like gross when you hit it, even with your hammer. You can kind of feel it's solid because he's a big creature, but it's not. It doesn't feel like it normally does when you hit, something. You can see that like his intestines are partially hanging out, this gaping hole in his stomach, and it's really disgusting. I mean, it's
He's
one
mushy.
thing. Yeah, it's one thing for it to be like zombies and like regular sort of human size, but this thing is something else entirely because it's huge and it's gross.
A lot more flesh to rot.
Yeah.
That's always fun to have right in your face.
It is Utha's turn.
Ufa will just move across to and She's going to recklessly attack twice. So 23, 27 points of damage.
She's ridiculous. Yeah, so he's taking a bit of damage here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for him, it's difficult to tell as far as like, is he injured? Because he just already looked injured before you even got in the room. So it is the ogre's turn. Bjorn, he reaches up and swings his morning star at your face. 23 to hit.
Yep.
It's 15 points of bludgeoning damage halved. So
7. All right.
And Soren, it is your turn.
Is it weird that in melee, the barbarian's an easier target than the wizard?
To be fair, you're not your average wizard.
Yeah, you're not a robe wearing.
You're not Richter. I mean, that guy would get hit by a fucking blowing paper towel.
Well,
You're like a badass melee wizard.
Well, just to prove I'm anti-Richter, I'm going to see if I can stick my hand through him.
There you go.
With another primal savagery.
It definitely does. I mean, at this point, Utha is too. Bjorn and Soren, you both look. It's like a horror movie. I mean, you're just at this point just completely covered in this black, rotting blood and bits of flesh, and it's like Ilo. You may need to make a Constitution check because these guys are disgusting.
There's water right out there. I'm sure it's fine.
I'm sure. They're not terrible.
Yeah, you feel a little bit of bile comes up your throat, but you keep it down.
She gives that that first mini burp and
Get a little. And it is your turn.
Yeah, she's staying well away from all those, and in fact, she'll take 3 steps down to be even further away from them. And
Jen's kind of like looking around, like reading, like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
yay, it hit.
That does hit.
But that's all she does.
It's like trying to freeze all the body parts from sliding out.
all right.
Oh, there goes his kidney. All right.
Well, I am aiming for the big chunk of his gut that's missing. I'm going to try to stick my hammer into it.
Okay.
While swinging. 21 to hit.
11 would have hit.
Oh, even better. So 17 points of silver bludgeoning damage.
All right.
And yeah, he's still just kind of standing there. Like, he looks extremely hurt, like, from what he normally is, but he has a really, really creepy grin on his face the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Ayla probably couldn't tell if you were hurt anyway, because you're just
True.
basically just covered in black goo. And it is Utha's turn.
Yeah, might as well have her recklessly hit him again twice.
Yeah, this one's hard to miss, kinda. Oh, there it is. Damn, another crit.
So, 28, 32.
32.
Yeah, so she's definitely hacking in big chunks. But now you can see that, like, you can see bits of bone sticking out, and then, like, it's making pained noises and sort of staggering around a little bit, but it's still up. And it is the creature's turn. And Bjorn, having tried to rip its stomach out, it's still gonna.
Yeah, I
drop its
figured.
Morning Star. So it hits you, and you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage. It'd be 14.
All right, so I take 7 more. All
So
right.
if you weren't a barbarian, you'd be dead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Bjorn is he's pretty well under half.
And Soren, it is your turn.
Well, I want to try something fancy, but it's basically just going to be me doing the normal attack anyway. So is Bjorn's hammer still in Big Boy's midsection?
We can say it is.
I mean, yeah, sure. He swung and hit it, and he's probably trying to pull it out over the next few seconds.
So with my 40 feet of movement, I want to run, kick off Bjorn, run up his hammer and try and slice across his neck.
Okay, sure. I mean, we can just like slide around and jump on the handle and then jump up to it.
No, I just want to kick Bjorn.
You can do that too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind. All right, so you sort of slide around the side of the zombie there and jump off of Bjorn's hammer and take the creature's head off. That was actually a good cue. The music.
All right.
It's dead.
All right. Bjorn starts like shaking off like a wet dog.
Glad I'm already over here.
Bjorn, do that in the corner.
He pays no mind. And I want to try to drag this corpse down by the and put it up against it, so that way the skeletons, if they do try through it, like I will literally just drag. I thought they opened in.
No, they open.
Yeah, they
Oh,
opened that
okay.
way.
Okay.
So you guys could close the door and.
That's what I want to try to do, and try to barricade it with a big dead ogre body.
She goes to the other corner.
Wise choice.
That was.
You can get. I mean, Sten can't talk to Utha at the moment, but you can like motion for Utha to try and help you move the body.
He just finished fighting. He's not thinking like that. He just starts. He grabs a leg and starts dragging. I don't know if I could do it or not, but that's what he's doing.
I think, yeah, Uwe will probably help you out. She'll figure out, move the big body to the big door. Never mind. Fuck it then.
All right, so we'll say I'm going to move them back, but so they essentially they go back to where they were standing.
Okay.
You can close the doors and put.
All right. Would have rather had that on an attack, but that.
So Sten stops reading it. He's like, "Does anybody have water?" Making motion that is like, "I've been talking this whole time, and I need."
Bjorn kind of like pats around on his sides and pulls off the small keg. It's probably like a really small one, but just hands it to him, and it's just ale.
And he takes it, and you can see that he kind of like tries to wipe off some of it because you're covered in. So he like takes his coat and kind of like rubs off the top of it so that he can take a drink.
And when he's done drinking, Bjorn kind of uses it just to wash off his face and stuff.
Yes, I'm not healing you until than you are.
He kind of like looks up at you and starts giggling, and then coughs and more blood.
Ooh.
Hey, Bjorn, I think we should run up to Ayla and give her a hug. Don't you agree?
No, thank
It was very nice that she helped me, but I do not think that would be a way to repay.
Yes, not a way to repay, please. I'm just gonna come this way.
And Bjorn kind of just sits real quick for a minute and just like looks around at everyone and says, "So, you look around and I sit while you do. Yes."
Here is a healing potion for you. And that's not actually going to do the thing, so I will roll it.
Yeah, I'll start to like brush off the guts and have a quick look around the room and the corpses.
All right. Thank you.
And then
And you can see Utha just kind of rubs a bit out of her eyes, and then you can see that she's covered in, and you can see that she just kind of like runs it into her hair. And then she kind of walks over to you, Bjorn, and she kind of sits down next to you and kind of pats you on the shoulder. And she's in very terrible, broken common. She's like, "Good work."
I just nod back at her and take out. I have a lot of alcohol on me. I have a bottle of liquor that I bought from somewhere. I don't remember where, but I just take it out. I take a swig and then cheers her and offer it to her too.
And Bjorn gets an additional 10.
Oh, okay, I'm back over half.
Good, because Isla's only got one first level slot left.
But she can cast Ray of Frost indefinitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look around the room. Doubt I'll find anything, but
My roll 20 is being dumb again. Surprise, surprise. I'm waiting for D&D Beyond to do a online. I feel like they have to at this point. They have that, like they have an online thing, which is useful, I guess, if you're playing the tabletop. But it seems like they're missing out on an opportunity to do a quote unquote official Dungeons and Dragons, online tabletop.
I mean, they might have it to where they already are in works with like Roll20 or something like that too. Like,
I mean, obviously, Roll20 probably has to pay them a licensing fee to be able to use it anyway. So,
as he's like looking around and all that stuff, I just want to go over to the corpses and just see if they had like. I want to definitely look at the White's weapons and see like if it had anything cool.
it did not. It had long. It did have a cool ability that it didn't get to use because it attacked barbarians with high constitution. You don't find anything, the only thing that you do find is that this opening over here is actually an opening. I mean, this is an overhang, so there's like a tunnel leading out of this.
and I'm guessing this is a doorway as well.
It looks like it was, however, it has completely caved in at this point. You can see that the door has been essentially broken off its hinges, and you can see that the room behind it is completely covered in rubble.
What about this thing?
It looks like at one point that was a fireplace.
Okay.
It is non-functional at this point.
So, it seems we only have one direction we can go. The question would be, do we take a rest, or do we continue?
Normally this is not a problem for me, but that thing really smells. And he points over to the ogre corpse.
So we.
You cut out.
Oh, so we continue.
I am good to keep going unless others need time to recover.
Maybe we spend an hour? Just rest, catch our breath, then we can continue onwards?
Yes, it seems fair to me.
Yes, I will stand right here.
And
Yeah,
you see,
Bjorn just moves over a little bit.
as you enter sort of the opening of that tunnel there, Ailey, you can feel it. It's comfortable over there. It's nice. There's like almost like a cool breeze that's sort of blowing from that tunnel. After an intense battle, it's kind of comforting and nice. It's like a nice, cool fall autumn breeze, and it doesn't really smell.
Yeah, she's very happy where she is.
Utha doesn't seem to mind. She stays right where she was.
Well, with a short rest, I get my blade songs back and up to two spell slots.
Isla gets nothing.
Yeah. Barbarians don't.
Oh
hit.
wait, no wait. That's actually the wrong roll. I got to roll with the durable hit die because I can't roll under a 10. All right, so the first one I get 10 back.
I am back up to full.
You might want to roll some hit dice for Uther too.
Yeah, I'm actually going to roll one of his as well. This is
I'll
for
roll for Ufa.
Sten. Sten gets 5.
I
And
think
then-
I'll roll 2 for Ufa.
She rolls a d12.
Oh, I'll roll 1. Just first, I'll roll 1 then.
Oh my god, I really rolled that bad both times.
Well, hot damn. She's back up to full.
Yep, same. Do druids get stuff back on there?
They get wild shapes back, but she hasn't changed shape.
Gotcha.
And
So still no
barbarians
spells.
don't get their rages back on a short rest. So.
Nope. I have one left, and I think that means she should too.
Yeah, she does.
How does the wizard get more back than everyone else?
Because you're an elf. You get stuff back when you rest on short. Right? Isn't it? No, 'cause
No, it's just
Anna's an elf too.
yeah. It's arcane recovery for getting your level or half your level back in spell slots.
Yeah, and Blade Song is on a short rest. I get 2 uses.
Seems kind of unfair.
Yeah, it does.
But saw how much damage Uther was doing.
Of 56 HP. Happy.
She's got 54.
I mean, effectively, I have 112 if I'm not taking psychic damage.
And you actually have, I mean, she's a level ahead of you and you still have 2 more than her.
Mhm.
Because I rolled terribly on her. Well, Stan has pretty bad. He only has more health than Ayla, and he's a level ahead of everybody too. So,
Mhm.
and he's only 1 point ahead of Ayla. So,
Yes, and the wizard has 31 more than the shaman druid.
well, the shaman is there's a bunch of different homebrewed shamans, and I took the one that I thought was kind of interesting, but then it's pretty weak, at least at the lower levels.
So after the hour's up, I guess we are. Oh wait, no man. There's only one way. I was gonna say, are we gonna go through the door first or through the passageway? But I forgot it's caved in.
Passageway we go.
Either me or Uth should be in front, I think.
Before we head out there, why don't we take a quick break, grab a drink, go to the bathroom, do what you need to do. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Sounds good.
Yep.
I'm back.
Yeah, the reason why Bladesong is short and long is because we don't get a specific school. Like, this is our entire shtick.
Gotcha.
Before the game started, I noticed that the light that's on behind me kind of flickered, but my computer didn't, so I didn't think much of it. And then I just went into my living room and I had my PlayStation on because that's what I use to like watch TV and stuff. And apparently that little flicker was my electricity going out because my PlayStation was off, and now it's like trying to restart. Like, you didn't shut down properly, but oddly, my computer didn't do anything with that flicker.
Well, I'm assuming you have your computer plugged into a surge protector that gives you a few seconds of leeway. Like if it just flicks off and on, most of the time surge protectors don't go out.
Huh. Well, I have my PlayStation plugged into a surge protector, but although I may have to check it because one of the things I learned when I was going in school doing stuff for IT that a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know at the time, is that if you ever have a surge protector and you see the little like power light and it's flashing, that means the surge protector at some point in its life has protected a surge and therefore is now broken and will not do it again. So if you see a flickering light on there, that means you need to replace it. Because
I've only ever had one go, and it was a long, long time ago, thankfully.
Some of them, of course, don't have those power lights on them, so you don't know, but all right. So you make your way through the tunnel. Don't have a map for this, so I'll just describe it for you. As I mentioned, it's a cool breeze that's coming from the direction that you're walking, and it's quite a winding path, and it seems like it's going down a little bit. Nothing too dramatic. Kind of a shallow decline, but eventually you start to hear some noises, and it sounds quite loud, and you start to see a lot of flashing lights. So you can't see the end of the tunnel just yet. It looks like the end of the tunnel is around a corner to your left, but you can see flashing lights, lots of loud noises. It sounds like it's a storm.
What are the lights the same color as the storm outside?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're assuming that you must be headed back outside. However, as you round the corner, you're confronted with a pretty interesting appearance. At the end of this short tunnel, there appears to be a opening, and it still seems like you're in the cave. And you can see in the distance this large sort of black domed, looks like some kind of magical thing, where you see these lightning flashes and stuff sparking off of it. It is actually quite terrifying to see, but it's at a bit of a slope, and you can see that in between you and this sort of opening at the end of the tunnel, there's probably about 100 yards. And you can see that in between where you're standing at the end of the tunnel that you just came out of, there's the ground sort of opens up. So it's 100 yards away. It's almost like you are standing at one end of the tunnel and you can see the other end of the tunnel about 100 yards away, and that where you see all of the lightning and things coming between that 100 yards. It's like the tunnel is open, and there are probably a few 100 feet wide now, and filled in this room, you see what appear to be hundreds and hundreds of these tiny little creatures that are making this sort of chittering, horrifying sound that are sort of like darting back and forth and moving incredibly quickly. And that is what you see in between you and what you assume is the goal. And at this point, it doesn't appear that these creatures have noticed you. I'm assuming you're not carrying a torch with you, so.
I've been kind of going by I put my hand on someone's shoulder when it's like we're trying to be sneaky.
And as you see those creatures, Stan kind of like reaches into his pocket and he pulls out that the incantation. He's like, "Will this work?"
Hopefully.
Well, let us just look first. See if we can find a route across.
I mean, you literally can't see the floor. There are that many creatures. I mean, it's like a sea of these moving. They almost look like. I mean, from the ones that are closest to you, and those of you who have a fair, amount of distance as far as your vision is concerned, they look like. They look sort of like. I don't even know how to describe it. Kind of like goblins or imps or something of that nature, but you can also you assume these are all undead creatures because the smell is horrifying. But from a distance, it looks like just a bunch of like termites or insects, like they're crawling all over each other.
I think it is worth trying. If they are right here, so if it works, they will make way for us to go through.
Well, if we do this, we won't be able to stop. Not considering the amount of numbers that are here.
Well, Bjorn goes and pulls out the little keg again and hands it to him and says, drink before you start speaking for a long time again. Do they respond to the incantation?
We would technically have to start moving closer within 15 feet of them.
Did my Discord die?
Nope.
Yeah, my Discord died.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, so as someone starts reading it, you do notice that they start to move back a little bit, and this thing casts like a dome. So if you all stand close to each other, you can probably stay within the dome.
That works. All right, then I guess I'll go up to the front and
10 strength check. So he takes.
Hello.
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 He takes 1 point of damage from this creature.
Does he have to roll like to keep his concentration?
Not really, because again, he's not really maintaining a spell. He's just reading.
Okay.
So what I miss?
These creatures, there's so many of these creatures essentially that they're able to break through the barrier even with the incantation because they don't have anywhere else to go.
I could help with that.
Well, since every 20 feet or so, everybody's rolling a strength check to try and get these things ungrappled.
Could I use the ability Sword Burst? I'll put it in chat. So around me, I'd literally be creating force blades.
You could do that, but all of your companions would also be damaged by it. Each creature within range, other than you.
Just murder us. Go ahead.
I mean, don't
So
tempt me.
yeah, that would work, but it would also, because you guys have to stand close to each other.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Basically, I'm just rolling to see which one of you gets the grappled here. Let me see. So you guys can keep going. And Ayla, you're actually next, but Sten is still grappled. So both of you, Sten and Ayla, do a strength check, and it's Robert, since you were here, it's a DC 10, which Sten failed. So Ayla, you're able to shrug that one off. Was that Sten's?
Yeah, that was 10.
Okay. So yeah,
Right? Yeah, so only a +3.
Yeah. So you guys both are able to shrug them off. And we'll do one more.
You need to get the guy with a -1 strength to make a strength check.
Actually, it's Sten again. So another
All
strength
right.
check for him.
16.
All right. So he's able to shrug that off. And you can see that they're all you make it to the essentially the mouth of this other cave entrance. And at this point, because they can't really jump up on top of you as much anymore. You can still they're kind of stuck 15 feet behind the entrance to the mouth of the tunnel here. So I'm gonna move you guys here. Should be at the bottom of the map there. I just randomly placed you on the so necessarily in the order that you would have walked in, but
Ooh, Bjorn has like 0 vision.
yeah, which wouldn't, right? Because you don't have, unless you want to light a torch.
Oh, no, true. Yeah, so I will stay behind Ayla and kind of use her to guide my way.
You should be able to at least see what.
Yeah, I can see what.
Okay.
Do you want to ask Uther to go first? I will lead yourself, Sten, in my corner.
And sounds like yells at her, and she just nods and walks forward. Bjorn, you can kind of follow behind so that you can see.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to walk with Uther, I'll walk with Sten, so you have eyes.
Sounds like a plan.
And in the distance, you can hear the loud sort of sounds, and you can see.
Just real quick, she can see this, right?
Yep.
Okay, so she stops everybody. and just points ahead.
And so essentially, we'll like if Ayla and Soren, you guys just want to move up so that like you guys can.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Okay,
Yep.
as long as you guys can actually see what it is. Essentially, the air itself is sort of like pulsing with that sort of that storm that you guys were running from before, and you can see this sort of like purplish green lightning is sparking off of this huge sort of looking like magical looking dome, and you can see that surrounding it there are these 4 pillars that appear to be almost like probably about 20 feet high in the air, and you can see what appeared to be some kind of creature that you've never seen before, sitting on top of these pillars, and they appear to be focusing on this dome as well. And inside the dome, you can actually see this what appears to be a man. His back is to you, and he seems huge. And you're not sure if it's the optics of this dome, but he looks really big. And you can see that he appears to have energy that's bursting off of him as well. And some of those like arcs of lightning appear to be like it's hard to tell if they're coming from him and then hitting the barrier, or if they're coming from the barrier and then striking him. But either way, he doesn't appear to be phased by it. But you can see a little bit of these creatures that are on top of the pillars. It looks like there is a bit of energy coming from them into the dome. And as you guys are sort of like trying to take in this scene, you can see that the man slowly sort of turns around and looks in your direction, and you can see that his eyes are glowing, sort of that same sort of sickly color that the lightning is, and in this very low, sort of booming voice, he just says, "Bring me their souls."
Well, shit.
Sorry, wrong way. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
That was actually going to be last week when we talked about like leaving on a cliffhanger. That was the cliffhanger I wanted to leave it on, was "Bring me their souls." But
Yep. All right. When he says that, does anything happen?
you can see that the creatures that are up on the pillars all also turn to face you, and you can see that their eyes are glowing. That's all that actually happens.
All right. Can I light a torch? And I want to just toss it out here so I'll be able to see stuff.
Okay.
I just want to throw a torch on the ground, like as far as I can near the dome, and I will just use that so I can see, and I have my hammer in both hands.
Are you telling me you don't wish to fight blind?
Not up in here.
What, with...
Oh, that's on. Just so you know, that's on the wrong layer. It's on the the fog of war layer, whatever the hell it's called.
Dynamic lighting.
Dynamic lighting, yes. Because it just made another huge shadow for me.
So, what did you guys want to do aside from that?
Once I can see inside there, Bjorn kind of looks at everyone and says, "Well, I suppose this is men we're looking for."
Yes, Zeflander.
Yes. You were brought to kill, yes?
And Sten's like, they just said investigate undead. They didn't specifically say to kill this man.
Well, it's a bit fucking late now for that, isn't it?
Well, there are other creatures. We must, fuck it. And he's just gonna start pull out his hammer and start walking. I agree.
They're coming for us!
That's the creatures up on top of the pillars
Yeah,
screeching
yeah.
at you.
The sounds of
Yeah.
death.
And yeah, I don't know if you meant to, but I still don't have any sight in here.
Well, my plan was to actually light that torch, but my Roll20 won't let me actually create that as a token. So, let me.
If you just go to the what the fuck? I can't. It's the DM tab where you add stuff. You could just type in torch and they'll have a million of them.
Yeah. I'm just gonna use this. Gotta make sure I do this right.
It's 20 and then 20 more a dim.
Hola.
Oh,
Welcome
you got one
back.
shot.
Yeah, you're dead.
Sounds fine.
Um, actually, so what one were you guys attacking? I assume you were attacking the same one.
I guess
Ayla went
this one.
first. Her choice.
All right, so that one is dead.
Oh yay!
It sort of like turns into this sort of black mist, and you can see the dome sort of flickers a little bit as it dies.
Yeah, Soren, the only thing that would probably be of use, I threw a rock at the dome to see if it would go through, and it hit me in the face, so do not go near the dome.
And what are we fighting? Because if
There
there
are
are
creatures on top of the pillars that you can't see technically, but
Okay.
they're 20 feet in the air. So between Ray of Frost and a thrown hand axe by Utha, you killed the one that is on the front left here.
Sweet.
So there are 3 more that could conceivably see, and Thorn, it is your turn.
Okay, if that's the case, Sorn will stand next to Bjorn. Bonus action magic stone and attempt to take out the one on this pillar.
Nope, that hits it.
And yeah, unfortunately, that's all I've got.
It is Sten's turn. It'll be the first time he's been able to actually participate in combat.
Yeah.
I don't know what he has.
Produce flame is 30 feet, so he would be in range of it if he moved up close to it. So he'll move like right here and throw produce flame up at it.
You got to throw it. You'd have to move over here because that one's dead.
Oh, okay, yeah, that way.
Produce flame. A 6 does not hit, nor would a 9.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
Ayla.
She will do another ray of frost at this one.
2 points of damage.
2 points.
And you notice as you guys are sort of unloading that these creatures aren't attacking you back. They appear to be concentrating on doing whatever it is that they're doing to this dome.
Who the fuck was he talking to?
We don't
This is
want
gonna
to
be bad.
find. We don't want to find out. Stop asking.
Yorn, it is your turn.
Regular javelin, not my +1 one. I don't want to throw that and lose it. So just a regular javelin at the one above me. 9 misses.
It does indeed.
And I want to split up a little bit, so I'm going to go over here. And that'll be it.
All right. It is Utha's turn.
So Ufes, what does she still have a second hand axe to throw?
I believe she had 2, so one of them is she could probably recover at some point, but she doesn't have it right now.
Okay, if that's the case, she will come a little closer and attempt to throw the hand axe. I'm clicking. I might need to reload the sheet. Yeah, no, that's not doing anything for me. Oh, Hello.
Hello. You killed one with a rock.
God damn, the Discord is just dying tonight for me. All
right, so Ayla and Sten both hit this one. It's still up, but as this has all been going on, the necromancer in the center there has been continuing doing whatever he was doing, and you can see that out of his hand, this sort of small, tiny skull floats out. And it is your turn.
Yeah, so if you want to throw the stone, you basically throwing it with my casting modifier and stuff.
Yep. I mean, if you're handing me one of the stones, I'll throw one. So if you want to just roll it, go for it.
Oh, let me reload my sheet. Yeah, I've clicked it. It'll roll it eventually.
Well, I'll just roll it. This would be to hit with your spell modifier. Oh, never mind.
Oh, it is.
I rolled a 1 and you two rolled 2 crits.
So that one's gone too. So there's only one left. And you can see that these creatures sort of burst.
Be the hand axe.
Yep, it's an action to do that.
I mean, she threw one at that thing, so she'll go over
Yeah.
here and try to grab it then.
Do a quick investigation check, just for the heck of it. Or perception. I don't think she's better at either. Might be
Yeah,
better
she's much better at perception.
Yeah, do that then.
Yeah, I don't think I should be rolling for a secondary character, considering my internet keeps shitting the bed.
Tara, you want to do it, or you want me to do all the other ones?
I can do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's
So she
see
finds
how to play a barbarian.
Everyone should play barbarian. There's a whole campaign of nothing but barbarians.
Enemies, nothing but barbarians.
Exactly. Just all barbarians all the time. So yeah, she can use her hand axe, but it's her action to do it. So Soren,
Right.
it's your turn. Act quickly before your internet goes.
So how many are left up?
There's one left up the top
This
left.
one.
So there's been 3 stones thrown. I'll
Yep.
recast and throw one more stone at the last one.
I think you're gonna have to move. I don't think you'd be able to hit it from over the dome like that.
120 feet, but yeah, I can move to one side.
Yeah, I mean, just like it's not the distance; it's the angle.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so I've rolled it, but I'm just going to reload roll 20 quickly.
Okay.
So that would be my turn, so you might as well just continue on.
Gotta see if that thing dies first.
It's Sten's turn winning. We'll
All
see
right.
what the thing rolls.
Mm. 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 He'll move over to there.